Hello there, and welcome back to War Thunder. The first half of the video is again a video that I made on the dev server regarding how the tech trees look, and I want to change it before it is too late, because in its current iteration this is a very bad idea. I know nothing is final, but the general idea is clearly lined out. Two different tech trees. And that obviously makes it a bit difficult to research with a premium cruiser, for example, if you have bought it, to research the patrol boats. For that, if you want to have the best possible progress, you need a premium boat to research then the coastal fleet. So the blue water fleet and the coastal fleet are two separate tech trees. I think this is a bad idea and this should not be implemented. It removes the choice from the player which kind of line he goes with one premium. It forces a lot of people to purchase another premium to stay competitive. Obviously, the people that have already progressed through the patrol boats are the winners, because then they have the very best patrol boats and then they also have very good backup. However, the gameplay in the future looks like. I say before it's too late in that aspect, as this is Gaijin's last chance to turn the tables in the right directions, to make the gameplay enjoyable, to make the progression desirable and fair, to allow therefore for balance. And this balance comes with the battle rating. And this is one of the biggest missed chances. If you just look at the very start of the video, I showed the American tech tree for the blue water and the coastal fleet. And that shows you that the patrol boats begin from rank 1 with the reserve boat to rank 5 with battle rating 3.7. And then for the blue water fleet, they begin at battle rating 3.3 and end at rank 5 again, with the battleships or the dreadnoughts at rank or at battle rating 6.0. So with two separate tech trees, Gaijin manages to decompress nothing and to make it even worse with the addition of new technology like the dreadnoughts. Now, another thing is that those dreadnoughts have one big downside, and this is that they have no AA. And I mentioned already what you can potentially face if you look into the US and the Japanese tech tree. There are multiple planes with up to 3 torpedoes that they can launch at over 500 kilometers per hour and just go in without impunity. The legend of the teammate that comes near you and protects you with its proximity fuse radar guided anti-aircraft shells, it can happen once in a while, but you never can rely on it. And there is nothing worse in the game to defeat an enemy dreadnought in a gun duel, in an artillery duel, just to see that he spawns in any sort of plane with a torpedo bomb or something like this and comes in for the revenge kill. Nothing is also said about the gameplay, the stop grind, the research costs, and the economy. Yes, the civil lines have been buffed. They have been doubled. Think about how bad the income was when Gaijin actually doubles the civil line income for an entire tech tree across the board. Gaijin doubling the civil line income across all the tech trees. That tells you how bad and abysmal it is currently on the live server. And I tested this myself by playing, tech tree ships that are not fully upgraded and tried to spade them in the current meta. And to just then on top of this fighting with light cruisers, dreadnoughts with the current map design, with the current objectives, that's not gonna end well, let me tell you this. And I think that a good solution, my suggestion for fixing this, is combine all the ships again in one tech tree, but make separate lines for all the different vehicle types. For tanks, for example, we have separate lines for light tanks, medium tanks, heavy tanks, tank destroyer and SPA. Those are 5 separate lines. For planes, we have in theory fighters, heavy fighters, attackers, medium bombers and light bombers, or then heavy bombers. You know, the lines are not completely homogeneous, and sometimes vehicle types change, but the distinct flavor of each and every single line is there. Why can't we have separate lines for ships? Because those ships fought alongside. So a separate line for patrol boats, a separate line for heavy escorts and destroyers, a separate line for cruisers, and then a fourth line for the dreadnoughts going to the battleships, so that the technology rises more or less a bit parallel across the tech trees, the tech tree lines, so to speak. That would not just save people from getting screwed that just bought expensive premium destroyers or expensive patrol boats, you know, because they would keep their rank, they would keep their value. And then it's down to Gaijin to find, to improve the map design, to change the objectives. And this is what Gaijin really failed at so far. To just make a more or less cosmetic change, which only would result in making them more money on a very short basis for, you know, selling extra premiums for a technically new tech tree. That's not gonna really work for long. And at some point, after a short hype of the new patch, where people really want to go for the dreadnoughts, the player base will decline, and again we will have long queue times. Again we will have the majority of the players in the match being bots with bad income, with no fun, with very boring gameplay, which already killed the game mode multiple times in the past. And the numbers just prove me right, sadly, because I'd be rather wrong about this than right. So this is my suggestion: bringing the ships all together in one tech tree, making separate lines, and then stretch the battle ratings from 1 to 6 or 6.3. That would serve for the destroyers, the cruisers, the battleships, aka dreadnoughts, and also the patrol boats for the necessary decompression, where we need to have parallel battlefields with proper spawns, with proper cover, and just everything being polished. It will not be perfect with the first try, but this is the, I think, last chance where you can realistically expect this to actually work. And you know, those first generation battleships don't have really great AA. And I think that this is a bit hilarious that technically that the pre-World War I first generation dreadnought then has to fight jet bombers, which is currently the case when you look at the battle rating at the maximum battle rating spread. So this is my point. Change it before the golden opportunity is wasted. It is this patch which actually can make the huge change. There are many people that in the past made great suggestions, and I never thought that this change would go down like this, because the pictures in the tech tree kind of suggested that the two tech trees were parallel. Maybe I overlooked it, maybe I didn't read it quite closely enough, but I didn't see this in the dev blog, and so it was kind of a nasty awakening on dev server. I hope that Gaijin changes this, and I hope that we see the decompression for the various different ships. The first destroyers are absolutely garbage, with a single 4-inch gun, for example the HMS Churchill. You know, that is battle rating 1.0 material. But you know, they are fast, and they have some torpedoes. But you know, that is not good enough to fight enemy patrol boats that have some ridiculous firepower, like the Saeta, etc. That just have those ridiculous, very high-powered modern 40mm with proximity 40mm shells and radar, etc., etc., versus a pre-World War I destroyer. That's not really good, is it? So at the end, we just have to make this one count, Gaijin, and hope you're listening. For a change, please listen. Don't make this mistake. And then it can be fun. Then it can be desirable. Then it brings people to play the game mode, to populate the servers, to make the queue times short, and for people to have then fun playing the game, to then spend money. And not to desperately squeeze the player base dry, to milk the cow till it's completely just, a roll of paper. And this didn't work in the past. And if this is the only thing that Gaijin goes for, then Naval stays dead. After some brief, revive of the zombie when, new 3D models are. Because I think the idea is great, the implementation less than desirable. I made the suggestions on various different places, old videos, new videos, and I hope that Gaijin really gets it done this time. And that is this discussion video. The evidence is in the footage, the evidence is there on your server numbers, in your statistics, Gaijin. You know that I'm talking the truth here. It didn't work in the past, and the current change is just a cheap rework, a cheap reskin. That's it from me today. Please give this video a like if you did, subscribe if you want to see more, and we'll see each other on the waves of War Thunder.